what's going on, everyone? James number 2, and welcome back to another YouTube video. And today, we do not have a special guest for all of you today. Unfortunately, my internet has basically been crap since July 13th, so I do apologize. So I've decided that in this video, let's talk about something that's been going on pretty recently, and it has to do with the flock cameras that are going around across the country. For those that don't know, flock cameras are basically just a bunch of surveillance cameras that are being installed in order to promote like public safety and to basically reduce crime by setting up cameras all over in order to catch criminals. That's kind of the basic idea of the flock camera systems, and the reason why people call them flock cameras is because the main company that's responsible for this is a company by the name of Flock. And yeah, here's the thing. A lot of people are not happy with this. This issue has actually been talked about in the past couple of weeks by both Abigail Pepper and Bo Whitehead, the two previous guests that were on my podcast. And this issue has also been talked about by the Libertarian and Constitution parties of the United States. And from what I have gathered so far, apparently in the North Carolina General Assembly, they had recently secretly injected something in the bill that would basically allow for flock cameras to be in the budget, and the Republicans ended up passing it, and Governor Josh Stein ended up signing it. And from what I remember, apparently there's right now there's currently like 10,000 flock cameras, but it's expected to go and it's kind of basically expected to be spread across our every inch of our state. And there were concerns about the Fourth Amendment rights being violated, privacy reasons, and people actually getting arrested for stuff that they didn't do because the cameras don't always read the information correctly. And on the left side, there has also been concerns about criminal justice reform. And for those of you that don't remember, Bo Whitehead did actually talk a little bit about Edward Snowden and how he related the flock camera situation to where like the United States government was collecting your data. And yeah, that's pretty scary, and that is not really good. And I do need to make it very clear to everyone, I oppose the flock cameras, I oppose all that, and that's why I'm making this video. So today what I'm going to be doing is we are going to be going over a lot of what has been given to me by the Constitution Party and from what the Libertarian Party had sent me in their newsletter. And yeah, let's go over some stuff first. The first thing I do want to go over is a story that happened in Denver. Hold on a minute. All right. I am so sorry about that. I accidentally cut off my computer. But yeah, it's back now. And yeah, the first story I want to go over is the story that happened in Denver, Colorado. And yeah, I actually have not watched this yet, so we're gonna be watching this together. So yeah, let's see what's up. That's what they all say. All the supporters of the flock cameras are like, oh, but it actually works. Oh my god, this works. Oh, but it works. You know what that is? Every time I hear somebody say that flock cameras are great, you know what I think? I think they're a part of. I think they. Every time I hear someone say that, I feel like they're just a tool for the state. I do apologize for saying this, but that's just my opinion, and yeah, that's very suspicious, in my opinion. That's what I think. Damn, Columbine. Damn, it brings back harsh memories for a lot of people. And I wasn't even born when that tragedy happened. I call massive cap on that. I think he would have come down there regardless because he wants that money, 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 money. Any evidence that she had wasn't worth it? Wow. Are you kidding me? What an asshole. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She hasn't been honest? Wow. Yeah, guilty until proven innocent. This has been something that's been going on for a while now. Guilty until proven innocent. And that is annoying. This sucks, and this isn't right. And this right there is the problem with the police system. Unfortunately, in my opinion, this is what abusive cops are like. Okay, and this is why the left overall tends to be more skeptical of the police because of abuses like this. And for those of you that don't remember, when I did my interview with Abigail Pepper, she actually mentioned the beating of Brandon Upchurch in Toledo, Ohio, due to the flock cameras, and it was very bad. And honestly, and the fact that this is going to happen in North Carolina, honestly, I'm pretty scared. I know some countries like China and the United Kingdom and Australia have them, but the United Kingdom and Australia and China don't really have the best records because of their spotty track records on AIH verification checks and all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Wow, you have to collect your own evidence. Are you kidding me? You have to collect your own evidence? You have to collect your own evidence. So you have to prepare for the worst. That is not good. Wow. You have to collect you have to prepare to collect your own evidence. And this is terrible. Like, I am at a loss for words. And you know what? I guess the next thing we can do here is I'm going to share this tab instead. Oh wait, does it like oh, whoops, my bad. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Uh uh okay, are we go okay, there we go. There we go. All right, there we go. There we go. That seems to be more right. So the next thing I do want to go over is that there's this map of where like deflock cameras are happening in the United States right now. And as you all can see, hold on. If this thing will let me as you can see, there are 59 cameras in Hawaii. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna need to use the plus instead because it's so much better. There's 145 around in or around Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and so on and so forth. But let's look at the mainland United States for a second, right? As you can see, there's like a heavy concentration in California, which makes sense. Most of the Midwest is pretty empty. But as you all can see here, like from Maine to all the way to eastern Texas, there's like a massive amount of flock cameras. Like seriously, there's like so many of them. Like god freaking damn. And when you scroll over further, you can tell like a lot of these take place in heavily concentrated populated areas. Like this, like look at Dallas. Look at Dallas. I think that's supposed to be, what's this supposed to be? Austin, Houston, and that, obviously that's not just in Texas. We got a lot of flock cameras in Chicago and Detroit, heavily populated areas. We take a look at Ohio. We near Cleveland, near Columbus, near Cincinnati. We even have flock cameras near Louisville and Indianapolis. Like, God freaking damn. And then look at the East Coast. Look at the freaking East Coast as well. We got number of flock cameras in Boston. We got number of cameras in what is that? What, the Hartford? I think that's supposed to be Hartford. And we got a lot here in New York City as well. Like a heavily populated place such as New York City. Like, look at this. Like, look at this crap. Like, look at this crap. Oh my God. And and we could go on and on and on about this. Like, look at this. There's some in, like, I think that's Wilmington? No, Washington, D.C. Sorry. Yeah, you see, there's so many flock cameras, it's actually very difficult to read this. There's a lot of them in Atlanta. Like, look at it in Birmingham. No, yeah, Birmingham. Like, look at this show. Look at it. It's insane. And lastly, I want to talk about North Carolina. As you can see, there's a lot already taking place across our state. But the two main population centers from our state that I can tell, as far as I can see, are in Charlotte and in Raleigh. Like, obviously, as you can tell, this is happening across our state. And look at this. Made by Flock Safety. Traffic, poll. Like, look at it. This is the information that, and you can even view the OSM, but I am not going to, because I am not going to invade people's privacy. Like, oh my God, this is terrible. And you know what's even worse about this? Like I told you all before, Flock is not the only company that does it. It's just that Flock does like a majority of the cameras. Like, okay, hold on. All right, there we go. My bad, guys. But as you all can see here, Flock is responsible for like most of this stuff. But as you can tell, as you see right here, brands in view, 85 brands. That means there are 84 companies, and I mean 84 companies that are also doing this as well. Like, look at this. Like, look at this. Motorola Solutions, 5,902. Genetic, 2,692. Other, 6,048. And unknown. No, seriously. Unknown is a category. 5,807. Think about it. 5,807. And you know what? Let's scroll over to North Carolina again for just a second. I want to check and see how many of this is. Okay, we actually got some other companies. Geriatric, Access Communications, Genetic. And in North Carolina, we have hundreds of other and hundreds of unknown. In our state alone. Wow. Just wow. And keep in mind, this is only going to get worse from here. Okay, we can add layers to it. Oh, there we go. Clusters, group markers. Holy crap. Like, look at this. 10, 49, 679, 502, 1.1K. Like, 409. Like, oh my God. And if you look at individual camera points all together, let's say put them all individually on a map, because I think that would be better, in my opinion, than a heat map. Like, God freaking damn. Look at this. Look at all this. Oh my God. This is insane. Okay, I think adding state boundaries would actually be useful in this case. County boundaries as well. I'm not sure if I should add municipal boundaries as well. But you know what? you know what? I think county boundaries and state boundaries would be good. I don't think we need to worry about municipal boundaries, but there's some in New Hanover County. A lot of them are in Wake County. Look at this center right here between Nash County and these other two counties right here. Like, this is insane. What you have here is Mecklenburg County. Look at all this crap. Northampton, I believe that's, yeah. Look at it. Like, what the hell? Look, and there's even some right here in these heavily populated areas. I believe this is where Guilford County is, somewhere right here. But yeah, holy freaking crap. And oh my god. But that's basically how bad the situation is. We have tens of thousands of flock cameras here in our state. And yes, I understand that not all counties have it. Not in this count. I understand that this county doesn't have any, but and this one only has like one, and some of these counties right here only have like a few, and there's not a lot of flock cameras here. But like I said before, everybody, flock cameras will come to these counties before you know it, because the North Carolina General Assembly and our governor has no plans on stopping this at all. So, and I lost my internet connection. Oh crap. You know what? I'll actually be right back for a second. Alright everyone, I am back and I am so sorry that you're not going to be able to see my face. Unfortunately, my internet's actually out again and I have no way to be able to be able to show my face while screen recording. So this is the best that I'm going to have to do, and I hope you all can understand. So with that being said, the next thing I do want to go over is this WRAL news article. Mass surveillance authorized on NC highways, all other state roads. North Carolina's new budget allows the State Bureau of Investigation to track drivers on any state-maintained roads using AI cameras. It's a win for law enforcement, but privacy advocates worry about civil liberties. North Carolina law enforcement agencies are now authorized to place cameras alongside state-maintained roads to track who is driving and where, due to a provision tucked into the new state budget that essentially enables a permanent statewide surveillance program. Automated license plate readers, or ALPRs, record the license plates of every vehicle driving by, as well as the make, model, and color of their vehicles. Then, using artificial intelligence, they cross-reference that information with various law enforcement databases. Hits might come back for stolen cars, criminal suspects, missing people, or other reasons. The cameras have had success stories, such as helping catch a former Chapel Hill police officer who authorities arrested in Florida earlier this year on allegations of planning a mass shooting at a New Orleans festival. However, the cameras aren't perfect and sometimes lead to mistakes, such as causing an innocent woman to be arrested and falsely accused in Fayetteville, which eventually caused the city to apologize and pay her $60,000. Wow. Some towns and counties have already been allowing the cameras on local roads, but the major highways and other state-maintained roads used to be off-limits. Skeptical state lawmakers on the left and right alike fought for years to keep the cameras off state roads. Several more libertarian-minded Republicans had previously joined forces with some Democrats to raise concerns about the program violating drivers' constitutional rights and creating a slippery slope toward Big Brother authoritarianism. They have lost that fight, sadly. The legislature authorized a pilot program tracking highway drivers in 2023, with 32 of North Carolina's hundreds of law enforcement agencies participating. The new budget makes the program permanent and open to any agency in the state. The benefit that it does. That was requested by the State Bureau of Investigation, which submitted a report to the legislature in April detailing its goal of covering all entrances and exits to North Carolina with AI-enabled camera tracking drivers. When asked about it by WRAL after budget votes, the top Republican legislative leaders, House Speaker Destin Hall and Senate Leader Phil Berger, each said that anyone going out in public can legally be photographed already, So using technology to take and analyze millions of photos of vehicles is just a next step in protecting the public. I don't think it's a real breach of civil liberties. What a damn liar. If you're driving down a public highway, you're out in the public anyway, so you don't have much expectation of not being seen out there. So I think on balance, which I don't believe is true, the benefit that it does in public safety, Hall said. Whether it's someone kidnapped or whether they're trying to find somebody who just committed some major crime or whether they're trying to find an elderly person, all of that outweighs the concerns. Berger gave similar reasoning. People are driving their vehicles in public, he said. Anybody who is there to see it. I think we've always got to be a little concerned about an overuse of technology, but I believe this is an appropriate step. Boo! Those answers haven't swayed skeptics. They're going to have these effectively mass surveillance cameras and a mass surveillance system in their communities without fully understanding the scope of what these communities are capturing, said Zach Contreras, a spokesman for the American Civil Liberties Union of North Carolina. There are concerns police officers could misuse the system for personal reasons, which has already happened, Contreras said, such as by keeping tabs on where the whereabouts of a romantic partner or ex-partner. So basically stalking. There's also potential for the system to be abused in officially sanctioned ways, he said, such as government officials ordering surveillance of political protesters or certain types of healthcare providers. A WRAL analysis of internal policies for the agencies participating in the state's ALPR pilot program shows that 2 of the 32 agencies, the Asheville and Raleigh police departments, address such concerns, at least in part. The other 30 have no such policies. Asheville instructs officers to attempt to avoid surveilling attendees of political rallies, religious gatherings, or protests unless necessary for an ongoing criminal investigation. Raleigh tells officers not to conduct surveillance based solely on a protected class, such as race, sex, religion. Potential for abuse. The Institute for Justice, a nonprofit law firm that represents people in cases related to what it calls widespread abuses of government power, has documented at least 21 cases of police officers nationwide being accused of using the cameras to stalk their romantic interests as of June 30. In the 2 weeks since then, news reports from Georgia and Wisconsin detail at least 6 more police officers arrested on allegations of misusing license plate readers. In 2019, when several conservative state lawmakers succeeded in killing their party's plan to authorize license plate readers on the state roads, Republican reps Michael Special, Larry Pittman, and Keith Kidwell spoke out against the plan. I do sincerely not trust the government, Pittman said at the time WRAL reported. I do sincerely fear what types of things might be done with this capability down the road. By 2023, when the pilot program was authorized, however, Special and Pittman were out of the legislature. Kidwell lost his primary election in March. Law enforcement agencies have since had more time to report back on uses of the technology they'd like to highlight to state leaders, such as Hall, who took the leadership over of the state house last year. I've heard of many examples where these have come into play, Hall said. You have kids getting kidnapped, for example, and it's been useful in trying to find them. The most often thing that's occurring now? Folks who have some sort of cognitive issue, whether they have Alzheimer's or dementia, and they get in a car and start driving and don't know where they're at, and their family can't find them. They've literally found people with these. So basically, from what I'm gathering with Dustin Hall, he doesn't seem to be open to community solutions. That's just my opinion, and that's really unfortunate, man. The SBI report to lawmakers earlier this year also notes that the technology has helped clear at least one innocent victim who has been under investigation for a murder by confirming the alibi she had given to police. And in a small number of cases, they said they've used the technology to stop crimes from happening in the first place, such as one agency that received a tip about someone planning to drive from New Jersey to North Carolina with a shipment of drugs and was stopped shortly after entering North Carolina due to ALPRs, or another man driving from Atlanta into western North Carolina, who police says they caught with a large haul of meth. God damn. Investigators used ALPRs to identify vehicles the suspect used to transport drugs, the report says. Investigators located the suspect vehicle and attempted a traffic stop. The suspect set fire to his car and fled on foot. He was subsequently arrested. Investigators located 50 kilograms of methamphetamine in a vehicle along with a handgun. Millions of drivers filmed. How many more of these is there? Okay, only a couple more. Okay. Millions of drivers filmed. As part of a report the SBI sent lawmakers this year about the pilot program, the SBI noted that Raleigh police set up 3 cameras along state roads, which have recorded more than 14.8 million drivers and generated 956 hits in various law enforcement databases. That's a pretty small amount for like 14.8 million. So that is not good. The report doesn't mention how many, if any, of those hits helped lead to an arrest, a rescue, a recovery of a stolen car, or any other outcome. Raleigh police officials didn't respond to multiple requests for comment on that report or ALPRs in general. The sheriffs in Harnett, Franklin, and Person counties, as well as the Henderson Police Department, have put up a combined 40 cameras, recording 23.3 million drivers as of March, according to the SBI report. No other central North Carolina agencies have have cameras up through the pilot program. It's yet to be seen how many will set up cameras now that the program is open to all. Safeguards in place? The ACLU of North Carolina was involved in past efforts to stop ALPRs from expanding in the state. They've now moved on to pushing for reforms that would add more privacy protections into the way North Carolina handles this data. These technologies being used to stalk an individual, you should be able to figure out which law enforcement officer is doing that to address it immediately, Contreras said. However, he added that's not always possible in practice because of the way police agencies sometimes regulate themselves. If they do have a description of the reason they access the data, oftentimes it's very broad and non-descriptive, Contreras said. So then you can't actually, in the event that the system is abused or misused, figure out who did it. State law makes misuse of ALPRs a Class 1 misdemeanor charge, although there are no rules that law enforcement agencies must follow to stop or catch violations. Wow. So basically a potential vulnerability to abuse. The state does require agencies to have a policy for using ALPRs, but the details are entirely up to individual agencies to make as strict or as lax as they desire. Oh damn! So basically, you have to be careful because you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and you could be screwed. That's not good. The SBI report doesn't say whether any of the agencies participating in the program identified any confirmed or suspected misuse of the footage. It also doesn't say whether any of the agencies attempted to look for abuses. It instead focuses on success stories reported by the agencies in the pilot program. ALPRs allow law enforcement agencies to find vehicles that were near or at the scene of a crime, such as a homicide, the report says. Access to this type of instantaneous information has proven to be an invaluable tool for law enforcement. Oh, yeah. Basically, that's kind of what this is all about. This is basically mass surveillance. I don't think this is going to work. I think North Carolina is becoming a police state, and yeah, this is not okay. So this next story I want to go over for all of you. Woman wrongfully arrested in Fayetteville drive-by shooting case. Received settlement from police. So basically, she had to be compensated for it. Oh, hey, my internet's back on. Let me see if I can, hold on. Let me see if I can, go back to, hold on a minute. Alrighty, hey, let's go. Alright, let's read this article next. Woman wrongfully arrested in Fayetteville drive-by shooting case receives settlement from police. Alright, I can already tell how this is going to end. Fayetteville. Call it a case of driving while behind the wheel of a white Nissan. Attorney Patrick Anstead said his client, 51-year-old Jacqueline McNeil, was wrongfully arrested by the Fayetteville Police Department on July 20th. Police accused her of using her white Nissan sedan in a drive-by shooting on July 18th outside of a vape shop on the Camden Road. McNeil was then pulled over and arrested 2 days later. They arrested McNeil without a warrant or probable cause, and the right there is an invalid arrest, Attorney Anstead said. Wow, so basically her constitutional rights were violated. Wow, that's messed up. Not only did they violate her constitutional right, but the police basically ended up abusing their power. Wow. Fayetteville police identified a white Nissan sedan leaving the direction of the shooting with a nearby city surveillance camera. At the same time, oh sorry, hang on. Sorry about that, everyone. At the same time, camera license plate reader camera more than 1 mile away on Owen Drive caught McNeil's car. 2 days later, she was pulled over by police, arrested, and interrogated, her attorney said. He also said police even accused McNeil's son of the shooting. That was also false. Wow! Are you serious? Wow. After a while, law enforcement realized they had captured the images of two different cars and had arrested the wrong person, ultimately letting Miss McNeil go without charging her with a crime, Attorney Anstead said. What they were initially supposed to do was stop and hold the car and let detectives come and examine it and determine whether or not it was the right one. Instead, they skipped a step and immediately arrested her. Before McNeil's attorneys could file a lawsuit, Fayetteville police agreed to hold a mediation and resolution negotiations for a settlement. The Fayetteville Police Department settled with McNeil for $60,000 and a written apology from retiring Fayetteville Police Chief Gina Hawkins. It basically says that their detectives made a mistake and this error will lead to better training in the department moving forward, Attorney Anstead said. Oh, that's not true. Do not believe that. Straight up, do not believe that at all. No, it won't. That's what they all say in a lot of cases in general. It's not. That if you hear something like this, and this error will lead to better training in the department moving forward, or anything similar to this, be skeptical, because sometimes people do often use this in order to excuse their actions, and people will hope that you forget. And let's be real, there will be some times where people say something like this and they are sincere. But unfortunately, there's a lot of times where people will say this and they will not mean it at all. So I say take it as you will. And you know what? Let's go through this next part right here. All right, here we go. Home. Okay, yeah. This next one is from dflocknc.org. All right. Your privacy is under threat. Automated license plate readers, ALPRs, like from Flock Safety, are quietly building an unregulated, warrantless dragnet across North Carolina. These systems go far beyond traditional security by logging the daily movements of innocent citizens. Yes, that's true. I think that's what Edward Snowden tried to warn us about. They track in where we worship, who we visit, what doctors we see, and when we leave our homes. We are told this surveillance is for safety, but less than 1% of scanned vehicles are tied to any crime. Yeah, that actually kind of adds up with the previous statistic that WRAL had mentioned. Meanwhile, 100% of drivers have their sensitive location data pooled, stored, and shared with hundreds of out-of-state agencies and federal authorities without their consent. DFLOC NC is dedicated to fighting back. We exist as an independent group to restore transparency, educate local communities about the realities of ALPRs and mass surveillance, and demand the removal of invasive tracking technologies from our towns. True public safety does not require trading away our fundamental privacy. Yes, and I may need to check out this group at some point in the future. Latest article. Okay, so this is basically their latest article. Dishonesty and lack of transparency from the NC State Highway Patrol Office. Wait a minute. Okay, I was about to say, May 21, 2026. During the Super Bowl in February this year, Amazon ran an ad claiming how great mass surveillance was. Amazon, wow! Wow, so basically the big corporations are in on this too. Huh. Amazon ran an ad claiming how great mass surveillance was because it could help you find a lost dog if it ran away. Amazon's brand, Ring, would use a giant surveillance network of AI cameras to find lost dogs. Understandably, the reasonable people who saw that ad were, at minimum, creeped out because they realized the consequences of a large-scale AI-powered surveillance network. At the time, Amazon, Ring, and Flock had a partnership. Seeing the potential growing of mass surveillance, I had just sent him multiple records requests to various agencies to see if they had any partnerships with third parties, including Flock, Amazon, or Ring. Now, I might pull up this article if we have time, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But you know what? This next article here, right here, I actually have the full article already pulled up right now, so let me see if I can pull that up. All right, here we go. Granville County Sheriff expresses concern over flock cameras. All right, it's not a long read, so let's read it together. On Monday, July 6th, Granville County Sheriff Robert Fountain expressed his concern over the addition of 10 flock cameras in Granville County. Sheriff Fountain proposed 10 cameras on the edges of the county. The contract would initially be for 2 years with the intent to have the camera system for at least 5 years. The proposal made it clear that once brought online, the Granville County system would be integrated with municipalities who already have cameras in the county, as well as the nationwide network of surveillance. However, Sheriff Fountain wished to have the item pulled from the agenda for further consideration and discussion among the community. Sheriff Fountain correctly identified Fourth Amendment concerns, that was talked about, ongoing litigation, and hesitation among the community. He also referenced his personal struggle with the addition of the security system. After the meeting, I had the opportunity to speak to Sheriff Fountain. Many in the community did not know much about the flock system. However, the sheriff was aware of some of the community comments against the flock systems throughout the country. He also appreciated the public comment delivered that night against the flock system by myself and other people. This shows that when people speak up, attend meetings, and send letters to their elected officials, real change is possible. If you are a resident in Granville County, work in Granville County, or travel through Granville County regularly, please reach out to the sheriff and respectfully tell him of your opposition to adding flock cameras to your county. Remind him that if Granville County resists the addition of flock cameras, you can also email the county commissioners and let them know the same. We have an opportunity to slow down the adoption of flock cameras in the county and hopefully start reversing course. Yes, I'm glad we got local officials trying to stand up and... oh, god damn it. Alright, I am able to pull off the video with involving the Granville County Sheriff, and I feel like I want to show you all this because I think it's really important.
To one other thing, lastly, Commissioner May, and I appreciate it, and Drew, and with the county attorney, we've been in conversations with the changing legislation about flock cameras, and my wife will tell you, and my pastor will tell you, I've been wrestling with this decision to either have flock cameras or not. And I think a lot of times as leaders, sometimes we make decisions without listening to the voices of our people. So in that vein, and with what God we prayed on, and then this morning at 7:05, Jim gave me the message that I needed to hear was don't do it now. And we pulled it. Because of the fact on the 20th, I want to have an open discussion with the community here to hear their concerns before we do anything moving forward with the flock camera system because of the Fourth Amendment rights violations that are out there in current litigation. And I appreciate you all for what you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yeah, and I think we're going to need more people like him out there fighting back against the system. So let me see if I can unzoom out the video. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I think, like I said before, I think we're going to need more people like him fighting back against these AI flock cameras because we have to be able to protect our own privacy because our governments never will. So that's pretty important. Yeah, like I said before, everybody, I'm so glad we got some local officials willing to stand up to this because this is horrible. And to be honest, I don't think there's anything I could say that would accurately describe that. I don't think there's anything I would say that is not any different from what this website or anyone else is saying right now. So honestly, yeah. The next thing I do want to go over though is a Twitter post by Jason Bassler. Hold on a minute. Alright, I'm so sorry for the interruption, but anyways, like I said before, let's go over a tweet by Jason Bassler, and here's what he has to say. Flock has a hidden weakness many don't know. Public records requests. Activists have successfully forced at least 8 cities to shut down flock programs, either by exposing unauthorized data access or showing the footage was publicly accessible. One of the most effective ways to take down flock cameras? FOIA/PRA requests. Here's a template to file one in your city. To the custodian of records, pursuant to the Your Home State Public Records Act, your state's Public Records Act code, I request access to and copies of the following public records relating to your local police department's surveillance camera network, reportedly consisting of more than 2,600 cameras deployed throughout the city. Please provide records covering the period January 1, 2020 through present unless otherwise specified. Policies and legal authority. All policies, procedures, memoranda, directives, or legal analyses governing the deployment and operation of surveillance cameras within blank, any legal justification for the program under federal or state constitutional law, policies concerning Fourth Amendment considerations or privacy protections, any city council ordinances or resolutions authorizing the camera network. 2. Contracts and vendors. You know what? How many of this is there? All right, there's 8 of these. Okay, just making sure. Contracts and vendors. All contracts, vendors, memoranda of understanding, purchase orders, or amendments with vendors of service providers related to. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry, everyone. I have not been feeling well recently, but I should be all right. Surveillance cameras, automated license plate readers, real-time crime centers, video and analytics, facial recognition or artificial intelligence, data storage or cloud services used for camera footage. Please include vendor proposals, RFP responses, and bid documents. Camera locations, records identifying the number of locations of cameras deployed, maps, GIS datasets, or inventories of surveillance devices, any classification of cameras as public, private partner, or third-party integrated cameras. If precise coordinates are withheld, provide generalized location records or district-level inventories. 4. Data retention and access. All records describing video retention schedules, policing for deletion or archiving of footage, which agencies or departments have access to the camera network, any data sharing agreements with other federal agencies, including but not limited to your state highway agencies, regional private all records relating to programs that integrate privately owned cameras into the police network. Oh, hold on a second. I think I got my internet back, but you know what? I'm probably going to oh, hold on a minute. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna need to continue reading this, and yeah. Private camera integration records. All records relating to programs that integrate privately owned cameras into the police network, including agreements with homeowners, businesses, or HOAs, terms of participation, data access rights granted to the police department. 6. Surveillance technology capabilities. Records describing whether the system includes or supports facial recognition, license plate recognition, behavioral analytics, crowd detection, real-time monitoring centers. 7. Crime reduction claims. All records, reports, studies, or internal analyses supporting claims that the surveillance network caused reductions in crime, including statistical reports, internal evaluations, communications discussing the effectiveness of the system, and there's 8 emails, memoranda, and internal communications between your city police department personnel, city officials, or vendors referencing expansion of the camera network, privacy concerns, public opposition or legal review. Search terms should include camera network, surveillance cameras, real-time crime center, aerodrome, Raven, ALPR, flock, facial recognition, and camera integration. Format. Please provide records in electronic format via email or download link. If any records are withheld, please provide the specific statutory exemption relied upon and produce all reasonably segregable portions of responsive documents. Fee waiver. This request concerns matters of significant public interest involving government surveillance and constitutional rights, and any fees should be waived or minimized. I look forward to your response within the statutory timeframe. Wow, so basically, Jason Bassler has like given us basically given us a template of what to do. So this is pretty good. I will be linking that in the description below. And yeah, let's go on to the next thing. All right, the last thing I do want to show you for this topic is that there is a DFlock app that you can actually download on your phone. Actually, I already have it downloaded on my phone as well, but I will send you all the link in the description. It's also in iOS as well, in case you all want to check it out for yourself. But this app is called DFlock, and it's basically against flock cameras, of course. And let's read it together. Protect your privacy. Discover and report automatic license plate readers in your community. Take control of surveillance in your neighborhood. Powerful features. Everything you need to understand surveillance in your area. Discover ALPRs. Find automatic license plate readers in your neighborhood with our comprehensive database. Report new cameras. Easily report new ALPR installations you discover to help grow the community database. Community driven. Join a community of privacy advocates working together to map surveillance. And now we can see it in action. Beautiful design meets powerful functionality. Woo. As you all can see here, this is basically what similar to what this is not exactly what I've shown you before, but I can verify that that the interactive map, you will see this as well. And the black part right here, that's where the camera is facing, and the blue represents the camera itself, the blue circle here, so that's pretty cool. And you can also report new cameras as well, so that's amazing. And it even works offline, so you can log cameras without the internet, which is really, really good, especially for the fact that I have been facing some severe internet issues recently, and my internet service providers. You know what? Let me rant about my internet service provider for a second. My internet service provider is trash. My internet has not been working since July 13th, and I've scheduled them in the past. I've scheduled them like a while ago to actually like fix it, but nah, they don't seem to care. They only care about money, really. So yeah, unfortunately, I've had to reschedule it back to a later date. I won't say anything about Brightspeed just in case the United States government is watching and they want to collect my data as well. But yeah. Anyways, fuck this company. Maybe if I had like a different internet service provider, I probably wouldn't have this problem. But yeah. Anyways, there are 40K plus cameras mapped, there are 500 plus communities covered, and there are over 1,000 contributors. Your privacy protected. We believe privacy is a fundamental right. Here's our commitment to protecting yours. Zero personal data collection. This app does not collect, store, or transmit any personal information. No email addresses, phone numbers, names, or identifying information is ever requested or stored. Open data sources. All map data comes directly from OpenStreetMap, a collaborative open source mapping project. ALPR locations are crowdsourced from contributors like you. Tiles are provided by OSM, Google, and Esri. Secure authentication. If you choose to authenticate with OpenStreetMap to submit camera locations, the app retrieves a token for your OSM account securely via OAuth, which is stored locally on your phone and only used for submissions. Local location use. Your location is used only locally on your device to center the map for convenience. Location access is completely optional and your position is never transmitted to our servers. No tracking or analytics. We don't use cookies, internet cookies by the way, not the food, tracking pixels, or analytics services. No third-party services monitor your usage or behaviors within the app. Open source transparency. Our code is open source and available for review. You can verify our privacy commitments by examining the source code yourself. Oh, really? That's awesome. Ready to take control? Join thousands of users mapping surveillance in their communities. That is awesome. You know what? Can I check it out for myself? Oh, hey, would you look at that? Hold on a minute. Okay, so basically their code is on GitHub, and that's awesome. Wow, that is freaking awesome. That is good. I'm so happy that they actually they are actually doing something like this. So, yeah, this is pretty good. And you know what? I will be linking everything in the description below so that way all of you can check it out for yourself. And Yeah, this is pretty good. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, I oppose the flock cameras, and we really need to tackle all these companies. But unfortunately, the Democrats and the Republicans overall, as parties, not individuals themselves, but as parties as wholes, the two party system is in favor of flock cameras, and they do not care about our safety or privacy. So that's pretty unfortunate. And with that being said, I do think there is still some time left. I will need to check and see how much time we got. All right, the last thing I guess we can go over really is earlier this month, CNBC actually ended up reporting their top state for business rankings that they do every year, and yeah, it looks like Ohio won. So congratulations to Ohio. So that's pretty cool, I guess. And you know what? I want to check and see what North Carolina is, since that's going to be since this is the focus of our podcast. All right, we're number one in economy, number three in workforce, 13 in infrastructure. That's okay. Quality of life is 34. Ooh, 34 out of 50 is freaking terrible. Yikes. Cost of doing business is 20, so I think it's better than some previous years, but damn. Okay, technology and innovation were number 8, business friendliness is 8, access to capital is 5, education is 12. I think it's lower than in some recent years, so. And cost of living is 35. Wait a minute. Crap, hold on. My internet's out again. Damn it. No. So yeah, this is basically what it is right now. We are number one in economy. Cost of living is 35 though. That is terrible. Like that is freaking terrible. Um yeah, that is actually very, very terrible. So ooh, I I don't know what to do. Yeah. Yeah, education cost of living is bad, meaning meaning how much we pay and stuff is going to go up, and it sucks. And you know what? Let me see if I can pause the video for a second to pull up some stuff. Okay, let's pull up North Carolina and let's look at the scores and the rankings below just to see how well we did. Infrastructure, our score is 254. Oh wow, we actually dropped 2 last year, so that's not great. Economy, we grew in economy. We got a score of 317. That's pretty good. Workforce, we dropped down 1 place, but not too bad. 258. Quality of life is 134. Oof. We dropped like 5 places, and we got a C minus. Wow. Wow, that sucks. Cost of doing business. Okay, it's up 1, but still not the best. Our score is 161. Technology and innovation, we dropped 5 places. Oof, that is not good at all. 160 here. Business friendliness. Oh, business friendliness. We actually dropped from 4th to 8th, so B plus, not great. Access to capital, we dropped down 3 places, so we got an A minus. Education, we actually dropped 12 places. Oh, access to capital, no, access to capital, we bumped up 5 places, my bad. Education, we dropped 6 places. Cost of living, wow, we dropped 12 places. Wow. In C minus. That is pretty bad. So here's our economic profile. Josh Stein, the Democrat, here's our population, GDP growth rate, unemployment 3.7, top corporate tax rate is 2%. Wow, that's pretty low. Top individual income tax rate is 3.99. Wait a minute. How come individual income tax is higher than corporate tax? Tell me that make that make sense to me. Anyways, there's the gasoline tax, there's the bond rating. We got a triple A stable, and here are his sources. You know what? Alrighty. So this is pretty interesting. Yeah. My thoughts on this, we really have to improve our quality of life. We have to improve cost of doing business, and we definitely got to improve our cost of living, because holy crap, that's terrible. And in some of the places where we actually did okay, we are dropping in places right now, like infrastructure, like business friendliness, like education. We have got to be able to be able to fix all this. Cost of living is something that I think the left can use to their advantage. I think cost of doing business is something the right can use to their advantage as well. And business I think the right can weaponize this as well to their advantage. Education, that is something that the left can easily take to their advantage as well, in my opinion. And honestly, yeah, I mean, we only got second this year, so I mean, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, even if we were like the top state for business, like, what does this do? Like, is that supposed to make us feel like, yay, things are going great? All of a sudden, I mean, let's be real. North Carolina has been number one for like, has been number one in multiple rankings over the past few years. Like, I mean, hooray, business is good, but like, what about our lives? Life hasn't gone better. In fact, I remember back in like 2022, when we became the number one state for business for the first time, and while all that was going on, the Democratic Party was suing the North Carolina Green Party off the ballot, and I was like, wow, the Democrats are using this just to basically like cover their own butts, just to make themselves look good, just so that people will not pay attention to what was happening in regards to ballot access. That's what my thought of this was, and to be honest with you, I feel like we deserve this loss, in all honesty, given our two-party system has been a complete fail. And that's not even to mention, like, we did not pass our budget on time either. Our General Assembly and our governor, yeah, I don't know if I can trust them. So that's my thoughts on it. Overall, we really have to improve all this together, but it will not be easy at all because, well, I don't know if I can trust our state government to fix any of this. I fear that cost of living and quality of life might go down even worse. I feel like cost of business might go down next year in terms of rank anyways, not in terms of monetary, not in terms of cost. I wish it would be in terms of cost, but I just hope that technology and innovation will actually improve in a way to where I can boost all the other numbers, but we'll see. It does appear as though we will need to fix our infrastructure at some point, so I don't know how to best fix infrastructure, if we have to like spend more money to fix it, to hire more public workers, or if we have to like get communities involved to do it themselves. I don't know, but regardless, I don't know what to say except I hope things get better for North Carolina, and overall, I guess I actually have nothing else to say. I'm literally blanking out. So yeah, that's all I have to say. With that being said, that's going to be it for the episode for now. I guess one last thing I would like to tell all of you is like I said before earlier in the episode, I've been facing some severe internet problems ever since July 13th. And I'm hoping to get all that fixed soon, but it's not looking good right now. As you all can see here, my internet connection has literally cut off a few times throughout the video, and that's kind of the main reason why I don't stream these episodes, because stuff like this can happen. And yeah, with that being said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do candidate interviews for a bit until I can get this internet fixed, but yeah, I'm going to try to get that fixed as soon as I can, but I still have some stuff that I really have to take care of, some personal stuff anyways, and but I'll still do my best to upload new episodes for all of you right here on YouTube. And yeah, we're actually a little over halfway there to getting 100 subscribers. So yeah, if you all can, please hit the subscribe button down below so that way you can all like check out any new episodes of the Political Freedom Fighters podcast. And also hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification bell if you are new to the channel. And type in a comment for any suggestions that you may have. With that being said, we are getting really, really near close to Election Day, and early voting should start eventually soon. So, yeah, if you all feel like you can't vote on Election Day or whatever, definitely feel free to vote early or vote by mail-in or whatever it is that may be. And with that being said, I hope you all have enjoyed and hope I'll see you all later. Peace out.